Okay, let's keep talking some Apple here. Ross Gerber joining in the conversation, CEO at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Ross, what do you think here? Apple enough to justify the rally?
For sure, man. This company is so amazingly well run. I just can't believe it. I mean, everybody's fallen off a cliff left and right. PC sales down 30%. You see it in their iPad, in their Mac numbers, but their iPhone numbers are excellent. Services keep growing, and they just manage the business so well in such a tough macro environment. God, Tim Cook, great job.
The top line growth, is it a problem that it's contracting when the stocks run up so much? Can we trade at a higher valuation than we previously did when this company's top line was booming?
Well, I think that's, when you're talking about valuations, there's two ways to look at it. So you got to look at the long-term growth rate and not look at this sort of like pause in the economy that have right now from the Fed attempt to destroy the banking system. So the pause that we're seeing globally is actually picking up in the rest of the world right now. So China's picking up quickly, their economy, and Europe is, we thought would be dead, is still, doing okay. And the US is now really going into slowdown mode. So that, so we look at this as the low in the cycle. So, if the economies of the world and the United States pick up over the next, 6 months or a year, Apple is fairly valued. It's a great long-term investment, and with $90 billion coming back to shareholders, they're constantly giving back their profits directly to shareholders. So, what's the negative here?
That's what we were just discussing. If there is one, then it's only the extent to which it's already run, I guess, up off the lows.
It's not cheap. I mean, that argument. It's like Microsoft and Apple are the winners in the stock market. They're top holdings in my fund GK, and we love these companies. I've owned Apple since I was a kid, but I think Apple is the best version of itself that it's ever been right now. And so, like, you want to own Apple if you're a long-term investor. I just don't see it. So now let's talk about ARVR glasses, because that's really what's exciting. All this earnings report stuff isn't really exciting. It's the ARVR glasses that are supposedly coming out. You see that they added $1 billion to their R&D spending over last year in the same quarter, over $7 billion in the quarter. So they could have put that to the bottom line, and they're investing heavily in these glasses. So actually, Apple's earnings would have been up if R&D had remained constant in the quarter. And so, like, this huge investment in their future with glasses is really what makes the story exciting. It's not, it's just like Tesla. Until the Cybertruck comes out, there's no catalyst, and so we're all waiting for a Cybertruck. So with Apple, we're all waiting for glasses now, and that's going to be the next catalyst for the company, because if they get a new product category that people, buy with the same margins and all the services that go with it, this will drive Apple's growth for years to come.
The growth potential for that, will it be a meaningful amount of revenue relative to what they make elsewhere? How far in the future are you looking here?
Well, once again, I don't know. We don't even know what this thing looks like yet. I've heard the price point is very high, like $3,000, which concerns me. And the functionality might be limited. So I have lots of things I could tell you, concern me. But Apple, it's like the Apple Watch. When it came out, it was sort of like, all right, great, but, not great. And now the Apple Watch is a wonderful product. It's just a wonderful product. And the iPhone was the same way. So I expect this product to be very similar, where, you'll have to be a tech early adopter to really love it, like the first generation. But by the third generation of these things, they'll be probably ubiquitous. People will just buy and use Apple glasses,
The world of tech is a graveyard of failed glasses. Ross, you know that as well as I do. Do we not need to see them, out in the open before we render the verdict?
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you they're going to be successful at this yet, because I agree with you 100%. There's a graveyard of glasses, companies out there, and I'm very specific with what kind of glasses I would buy, and I'm very resistant to spending $3,000 on a speculative tech product. At least with Oculus, if you really want a bad product, you can only spend $700 or $800. But Apple tends to do things really well it takes them forever to do something. They haven't done anything in so long. So I expect it to be good because it's just not like them to put out something that isn't a game changer. You know, it might have clunkiness at first, as many of their game changing products have, as I said, but you know, the way they're able to like continue to develop these things, it's the beginning of a whole new category of tech wearable products, basically.
Is the implication here that they do need something kind of new and fresh to drive the growth valuation side of this to justify that? Because all the other stuff is good, but you know, as we're discussing, it's not growing. Do you think they do need kind of an ace up their sleeve right now?
For sure. I mean, you know, I don't think Apple TV is killing it. You know, I don't think you're watching Tetris tonight. You know what I mean?
Not.
So, like, you know, clearly Apple needs something to drive growth into the future. And usually it's kind of like Disney. They need like a new show to really drive all the other parts of the business. And so this new product drives services as well, and it drives developers to be excited, and it drives synergies between the products. You know, sometimes I find these synergies between my iPad and my Mac that I didn't even know about. And I'm like, dude, this company, the way the products and the ecosystem works is unlike any other company. So adding another hardware product into the ecosystem is exactly what Apple needs.
Okay. All right. Looking forward to seeing you with the glasses, Ross. That'll be the test.
Well,
if you're gonna...
they're cool.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. The thoughts here. Ross Gerber, President and CEO, Gerber Kawasaki.